What's up, guys? Welcome to another build order guide here. This one today is the Samwise, the famous Samwise build. So I've had quite a few requests for this. This is a bit of an older strategy, so it might not be super relevant to the meta now, but it's still, I think, very good, and it's a nice, I guess maybe shout out or recognition of what at the time was a very maybe groundbreaking is the right word, groundbreaking strategy. It opened my eyes, at least. And I'm gonna start the rec. We can go through it as I describe where I first learned of this. So again, you're just gonna, as every game goes, you're gonna split your villas at the beginning, trying to get your 120 food for CDB production. In this case, you're not going to build a TP. You're going to build a market and get hunting dogs as soon as you can. So you're going to get that 50 gold and then switch over to get 50 wood from the trees and queue up. Well, 50 wood is for the house, but the 50 gold is what you want initially. That's why I've got 4 villagers on that. Get your hunting dog queued up ASAP. And then you send 1 or 2 villagers over to the tree and chop for 100 wood. So again, just like all my other videos and build order guides, I don't take any treasures so that I'm not affecting the build order, and everybody can excuse me while he trash talks. I'm not getting any treasures to not affect the build and make it as clean and basic as possible. Though treasures definitely do help with this build. I actually had to try this multiple times to get the 5 hus and the 5 muskets because it's so tight without treasures. It's really tight, and there's already a trick to the build, and I kept working with that, and it just wasn't enough. So I'll tell you what I'm talking about a little bit later in this guide. But so I wanted to say, the way I found this build out is I stopped playing AOE3 for maybe a year or two, a while back, and I came back and I was facing, I don't know if I was facing H2O or maybe I was watching a rec, but regardless, the first time I saw this build was on this map, and so that's why I pick it, because I remember when I saw it, my jaw dropped and I was like, wait, are you kidding me? Are you telling me that it's possible to get 5 muskets and 5 hus at, like, I don't know, we'll see the timing a little bit later, but 5:30 or 6 minutes, 5:45, something like that. And that, like, I think was like nobody really considered it or even like had the thoughts, because you play around a little bit with math here and numbers and timing. So it was like somebody had to put some serious thought into this when they first pioneered this. So obviously, it's called the Samwise build. He's gotten the credit for creating the build. But for a long time, especially on the fan patch version of the game that the community made, this was a very common build, and it was often done as a forward build. So typically, you'd see it pretty close to the enemy's base, and you can have some serious early pressure with this. So with that introduction, I'm going to get into a little finer points of the build here. So obviously, you're getting your hunting dogs early. Then you're getting food to aging up with 400 wood, like always. And then I'm switching over to wood so I can get, well, it doesn't show here. I'm going to get placer mines, which is 75 wood, 75 food. Queue that up as soon as possible. And then from there, leave villagers on wood until you get 125, which is how much you need for steel traps. And then you want to make sure you don't go over that as much as possible. And then obviously you're getting placer mines, so you want to have every second that you gather on the mine with this upgrade, so it's more effective. So I try to move some villas over to food, leave a little bit on wood, and then when the upgrade is finishing, I'll send them over to gold, just so you get the maximum efficiency. So there's those little details that help out too. And so the typical ratio you want here is about 8 and 6, 8 food, 6 gold, and obviously hurting, that's why the number went down to 7. But and you could be sending a few villagers forward here. I think I send just a little bit forward, or maybe not, maybe I just do it right here. But so the key is you want 125 wood, 125 gold, 2 steel traps as soon as you hit up, and also send 700 wood as soon as you age up. Yeah, not for CDB. You want to send 700 wood. So then the 400 wood you get on the floor with the age up is going to be for 400 wood is for barracks and stable. And there's a key to this too. So you want to have the stable being built first, because the Huss takes so much longer to train than musketeers. So even if you build the stable first, and then you're going to use 2 villagers for each build, 1 for each building, but the musk trains so much faster that you need to start the Huss first so that you can get full batches. And you also need to delay a little bit, otherwise you might not get a full batch of muskets. So I'm finishing gathering up the wood crate now, and I'm starting the barracks, and then also gathering up the 700 wood. So you need to quickly get a house down off the 700 wood. I'm going to pause right here because there's actually quite a bit happening. So steel trap's finished. I'm going to review a little bit. 400 wood is spent for a stable and a barracks, and you can delay. You want to build a stable first, and you can delay the barracks just slightly. Again, this is a lot simpler, and you don't have to worry about these super tight timings if you have treasures. Like, they really help out. I can't stress that enough. But you still do want to build this barracks second, regardless. And then when the 700 wood comes in, you're building multiple 2 houses as soon as you can, because you're only at 20 population limit at this point, and you already should be queuing up a hussar, which I will be shortly. And then you'll wait. In this instance, I think I wait maybe like 7 seconds to start queuing up the musketeer, and it's still very tight to get the 5 musketeers. So you see, hussar is in queue. I'm almost at max pop. I'm saving 1 slot for a musketeer, and I'm dropping house immediately because this is so tight. And if you don't get full batches, it completely takes away from the strength of this build. So the timings are pretty tight here. And again, you want to balance your eco, about 9 food, 5 gold. I'm using some villagers to build, so that's why it's only at 3. And at the same time, so there's the musket in queue. I'm building a second barrack. So this is going to be a very strong age 2 push, other than the fact that it's like a nice rush. So the 5 hussar are going to come out right around 6 minutes, no problem. And the musketeers, 5 of them, it's going to be really tight in this case. I have to switch some villagers over to gold. And this is where after 700 wood you send the 4 CDB. So it's going to be really tight. I am going to get 5 muskets here, but that's just how tight it is with no treasures. So at 615 I have 5 muskets, 5 huss. And like I said, with treasures you can afford to go forward. I know, because I tried this multiple times, that with no treasures it's very difficult to get the full batches, because you just spend the walking time of 2 CDB, and it's that tight sometimes. But following up off of the 5 and 5, I dropped another barracks so you can get a sustained mass of muskets here, and I'll just continue this playing to show that I do get another decent batch of muskets. Not a full 10 batch, but decent batch. You gotta throw down a few more houses, and this is just like a good opening strategy to like some heavy pressure, heavy and consistent pressure, because you have 2 military, well, you have 3 military buildings with 2 barracks. And you can even, after the 4 CDB, you can follow that up with 700 coin if you're going to be, and then switch everybody off of coin onto food if you have a lot of hunt, or you can send 8 expo. You can follow this up with resource crates or military units and just like slam your opponent with pressure. This is good in French mirrors for sure. I think we just saw Kaiser Klein in the finals of the ESOC tournament do that. And it's always effective, especially if you can get a full batch and your opponent doesn't. So yeah, so this is good again in French mirrors. I'd say it's good in certain situations against British, especially if there's forward hunts or not a ton of hunts. You can get 5 huss, and then you can stop there and then just mass muskets and then add in some crossbows. It's definitely good against Russia. It's good against Germany. It's good against Dutch. It's a well-rounded strategy, and I think that's why it became so prominent back in the day, in the fan patch days. Again, it's not super common now, I think, because the TP meta took over so much, and you can try to do this with TP start, but it's very tight, and I don't think it's as crisp. But as you saw in this game, when I aged up to age 2, it was right around the time I aged up that I had a shipment available for the 700 wood, so it works out. It's really tight. And okay, I'm gonna say this repeatedly because it is true, and I'm not trying to use it as an excuse or anything. But when you're using your explorer and you're getting treasures, you will get more XP as well. So it won't be as tight for the 700 wood. It won't be as tight for the 4 CDB to follow up. Everything will just flow a little bit faster, and you'll have a little bit more units or a little bit more resources in the bank. So, but let's go back to the point of this, is that it's just a solid build order. I want to give a shout out to Samwise. I don't know how many people nowadays know who he is, but he's a legend, and he was one of the best for a very long time. He came to the game a little bit after the AOE3 Prime, but he was so dominant. Back when power ratings were around, he was holding power rating over 51, which is off the charts literally because it goes up to 50. But he was just so dominant. It was wild to watch him. And French was one of his main civs, and his execution of this build order was near flawless. So this is a Samwise build. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.